Hey everyone, it's Jordan, also known as X-3. Today I'm going to show you guys how you can beef up any samples you have in your drum kit. For example, I have this kick that I've modified with an auto filter to give it some punch. I also have it on snares, hits, and I use some of the internal filters and LFOs to kind of give this drum beat more thud. So for Tumble Tuesday, have a listen to this with and without the auto filters. Okay, so the first thing you guys want to do is throw in a drum rack. Now, if you have your samples all ready to go, I'm actually going to search for mine in the drum hits. This is from the SupaStars promo pack. If you look for 1.8 GB, you should be able to find it, like their stuff, and then be able to download it. It's such a huge, tremendous pack to have these samples. Anyways, I'm gonna search for bass drums, hi-hats, hits, snares, and claps, and some static notes. So I like that kick drum, but I think it's a little too high, so I'm gonna bring it down 4 decibels, 4 semitones, I'm sorry. That's much fatter, I like that, so I use that one. Rename this kick 1. Let's find some other samples and some other packs. This is progressions. Find a clap. I like number 3, so we'll use that one. But we're going to be layering and giving our drums some more punch. So I'm going to find another snare instead of a clap. I like number 2, so we'll use that one. Both rename these. I'm going to rename this clap and I'm going to rename this snare. Okay, next I'm going to choose some hits that I can find and use. I like this number 2, it's very spacey. I'm going to just call this hit 2. Alright. Now I'm going to look for some hi-hats. I think there are some good hi-hats and new electric too. Drum hits, hi-hats. I'll choose number 1. And I'll choose number 4. And I'll rename this hat 1 and hat 2. Alright, so now what I'm going to use is hit percussion. One more hit percussion. So instead of a hit or anything like that, I'm going to be using a static note. So I'm going to look around for one of my notes. I like this number 1, so I'm going to be using that one. I'm going to call this just static note. Okay, so what I'm going to do with all of this is that I'm going to set all of my spread for each of these notes to about 64. Right click, copy value to siblings, very important. So now all of those changes that we made on that static note have been applied to my kick drum. So I'm going to draw in a basic note. I can delete this since it's going to be saved in our project anyways. I'm going to draw out 4 bars. Okay, so for a simple pattern, you really just need to draw out 3 bars, and then at the end of the 5th bar, we're going to do some variations to keep our listener interested. So in order to keep a very basic beat, I'm going to go to my fourths and drop just notes on every 4, except I'm going to change it to eighths. Now for every third, I'm going to drop in a double kick, and for every 4/4. So at the end of the 3rd and at the end of the 5th, draw in a double kick. Next, we're going to be doing the same thing but with our snares and our claps interchangeably. What this means is that I'm going to draw a clap and a snare on every other note. So the first one is going to be a clap, second one is going to be a snare, and the third one we're going to combine the two. So first one is going to be a clap, second one snare, combine the two, clap, snare. You get the idea. But what I want to do is keep my listener interested with the hat, since this is what we have so far. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I noticed my snare doesn't have enough crisp in it, so I want to go in here on filter. I'm going to change this to a bandpass 24 and set it to about 1 kHz and throw up my res. Now let's have a listen to how the snare sounds. It's much quieter, which is perfect for this situation. So in order to continue on with this beat, I want to draw in a hat for every other note, and then I'm going to draw in a second hat to fill in the gap. Remember what I said for the third, change it up. So go to 16ths and choose 2 notes on the bottom, 2 notes on the top. It doesn't matter if your hats are hat 1 or hat 2 down here and hat 1 up here, it will still sound great. Still continue the same pattern. You can change it up here and there. I'm going to do it for 3/4, like that, and keep doing the same pattern. Towards the end, change it up a bit. I want to do triplets. Triplets sound pretty nice. Okay, so now let's have a listen to our beat. Pretty cool. So now that we have this, in order to beef it up, we're just going to be using the auto filter. I'm going to show you how powerful the auto filter is. And I'm also going to show you a shortcut so that way you won't be grabbing up in the devices for too long. So I'll show you what that means. Throw on an auto filter outside of the rack. Change it to a high pass mode and set the rate to about 77. This is going to be our template as we copy this instance and throw it on our other samples. So I'm going to hold down Alt and drag it to my kick. Double click inside the kick to get the sample. I'm going to boost the Q of this. So watch what happens when I do that. We get a much fatter kick at 48 Hz when we boost the Q by 1.5. This is kind of like a mini EQ and it comes in very handy. So I'm just going to throw it on my clap. Double click, turn it on, and we'll set this to about 400 since that's where the clap hits. And the snare actually hits a lot lower than that, so I'm going to hit it about 220, somewhere around there. Copy this instance of the auto filter over the stack note. Turn it on. Gonna set that even higher, so about 700, 750 for that. Copy that over to the second hit. That's a good frequency. For the hats, you can actually change that to about 550. Okay, so now let's have a listen to our drums in action with the EQ applied. If you want to add in your static note, you can add in your static note at every third and fourth. So, meaning we're going to stretch this about 2 bars. Or for 6 notes. So now let's have a listen, and I guess that'll do it for the end. And then I'll throw in a percussion loop and tidy that up for you guys real quick, and then that'll be it. So if you're satisfied with your beat, these sample packs come with something very useful. They come with already to go drums, and they come with and without the kick drum, so that's really cool. So like for instance, this 03A, the A part comes with the kick and the B part doesn't. So I'm going to choose one of these samples that fits in with the drums as it plays. Since this snare on this loop is a little bit too fast and a little bit too harsh, what I'm going to do is use my draw tool and just drop out the volume on the envelope, so that way it does not hit this note. And then I'll see you guys tomorrow for Tumble Tuesday and something a little bit different. So yeah, check you guys out later. Have a good one and peace. Hey y'all, so thanks for joining me, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for Time Warp Wednesday. I hope you guys have a splendid day and a awesome Wednesday, and yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Peace.